Welcome to the MadTrio podcast. This week we have the California Pariah, Jonathan Charney, James, the Fat Man Stevens, and Ryan. Who the fuck is this, Preston? And my apologies about the most echoiest episode ever.
Oh man, am I coming in echoey?
I am to me.
He is coming into him, so it might be recorded that way. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it to me.
So
I got you guys real clear.
So we're going to do the lightning round of celebrity deaths. Don Wilson, surviving founder of the surf rock pioneers, The Venture, dies at 88. I think he's the last one. The rock legend / icon Meatloaf passed away. And we had the dirtiest wholesome man in the history of the planet, Bob Saget, passed away.
You know, that's the one I haven't seen anyone talking about how fucking dirty that guy is.
You know what? Actually, there's a great. I know this is I'm talking to the wrong fucking audience for this one right here, but there's a great New York Times op-ed from Penn Jillette about Bob Saget. It was really, really fucking good, and said it about as good as anybody. I mean, you know, you get a guy like Penn, you know what I mean? Or one, he writes a lot, and he's kind of the go-to for a lot of places like that. But, you know, everybody else, his friends and family are all going to be incredibly devastated. So, you know, best you're going to hope for is something like a close acquaintance.
Candace Cameron
like
Bure
that guy.
has done a bunch of stuff on her Facebook and all her media feeds about how amazing he was. You've seen a lot of outpouring of people who don't really mention. Like, the most I've heard from people who worked with Bob Saget going, oh, he was a good guy, I really loved him. But you're starting to hear more and more of the stuff he did for people. So,
well, you know, and that's the thing is, and one of the things that was kind of brought up in that article. Well, I mean, you know, all the comparisons to Don Rickles and him being, you know, one of Carson's favorite guys, and you know, things like that. Of, you know, all the comics always knew he was a dirty comedian, but it was just how important his style of comedy was, you know, and what it really meant to not just, you know, the political issue of free speech or anything, but to, you know, laughing at things that are incredibly inappropriate, but understanding where his heart's coming from. You know, that's all of it, is singer, not the song, right?
That's a rough comparison, comparing him to Don Rickles. I see it.
Well, it's the same kind of thing where, like, you had to know that Don Rickles meant nothing of what he said. You had to know he was coming from a genuine place, and if you didn't know that, you'd be like, this guy's a fucking psychopath.
Yeah. I'll give you that. And so,
you know, the only reason Saget's comedy worked is because he put himself out there for you to laugh at, you know, for you to laugh along with him on the crazy things that he says, knowing that, hey man, we're all just fucking around here.
I would also say it is because he had such a clean image for quite a while. That shocking transition from him to the Aristocrats was.
Well, and that's why Penn, you know, was the one who you know, pardon the expression, penned that article. He was the director of the or producer of the Aristocrats. Oh. So, you know, that's how he got to know him, and that's how the world kind of got to know him, is that guy. And apparently it wasn't on screen, but he had asked him, Saget, that is, asked Penn and Paul Provenza, you know, like who do I have to beat? You know, it's for anybody who hasn't seen the Aristocrats, all three of you out there, it's a documentary about all these comedians telling the same joke. The joke is just this kind of broad setup punchline, and you fill in the middle, and it's really the singer, not the song, you know, kind of personified in this joke. Of everybody just goes as dirty as they can with the interior of it, and then lands on the same punchline. And it's a joke for comics, never really told on stage, and
except for Gilbert Gottfried. Gilbert Gottfried
did it during one of the roasts. I can't remember which one.
No, it was Jim Carrey. He's the one that did it right after 2000. The towers went down.
That was
no, not Jim Carrey.
That was Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah, Gilbert Gottfried.
Gilbert Godfrey during one of the roasts, he went up and bombed for a couple minutes. He made like a couple of like tsunami jokes or something. I can't remember what. No, it was the Twin Towers. It was like I swear to God, the buildings were still on fucking fire.
He got panned for it pretty heavily.
But yeah, then he starts laying into the aristocrats joke for like 20 minutes.
And another brilliant. Another person who died, and I want to mention this because
but hold on, I'm sorry, I gotta finish. So Saget asked him when they were filming his segment of the aristocrats, he's like, "Who do I gotta beat?" And they're like, he's like Carlin, who am I beating here? Like it was almost a competition to him to see how much dirtier he can go than the guys who were kind of known for it.
Like he hit the mark.
And oh man, he did. Insane.
He did, but the dirtiest one out of all of them was Gilbert Godfrey in the aristocrats. Yeah. Gilbert Godfrey was the dirtiest one. Saget was number 2.
And another death that I'm not celebrating, but because of who he is, I think he deserves mentioning is Charles Mcgee, a celebrated Tuskegee Airman, dies at 102.
Oh, wow. Well, 102, hard to feel too sad on that one. Do we mention Louis Anderson?
No, we did not.
Yeah, Louis Anderson, man. Fucking life with Louis.
Yeah.
He died of cancer.
One of the most annoying voices in comedy, but still.
Actually transcended his incredibly annoying voice with being pretty fucking funny, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's just been harsh. I'm not a giant Meatloaf fan, but I do like Bat Outta Hell, and his death really just, I don't know, that one, out of all of them, that one affected me, that and Betty White. It's like,
he was pretty damn young.
Yeah, Meatloaf was like what, early 70s?
Yeah, 73.
Yeah, 73. Yeah. But yeah, I can't say that I was like bought all of his records or anything, but I respect what he was known for. He was in the Tenacious D movie and he was in Rocky Horror, so props on that.
His most famous album, which I think is number 3 or 4 of all-time records sold, was Bat Outta Hell. I heard somewhere recently it sold 400,000 copies.
It had to be more than that.
It's something like, it was super high. I don't remember what, but
400,000 is hardly anything.
Well, I don't know. I'll have to look it up. Unfortunately, my keyboard is louder as fuck, so you'd be able to, you would hear it. I got a mechanical keyboard. There's no way to hide it.
You just claim you type with authority. Just be one of those people, just furiously typing on like a quiet airplane, and everyone's trying to sleep.
Online meetings are hilarious because you hear me go.
43 million. That's more like
it. Yeah, excuse me, 43 million.
Yeah, it was kind of bugging me too. I'm like, no, 400 million. I mean, like in the first year, maybe that's our first, release. Yeah, but
I knew it was high.
Been out for a goddamn long time.
Yeah. That is a loud ass keyboard. God damn, man, keep it down.
I love mechanical keyboards, so it's one of my all-time favorites. So I guess here, according to Wikipedia, the bastion of all knowledge, I just want to get into it real quick. The best-selling claimed sales. So it's the Beatles at 600 million, Elvis Presley at 500, Michael Jackson at 400, Elton John at 300, Madonna at 300, Led Zeppelin at 300, and Rihanna, and then Pink Floyd at 250. I'm actually surprised by Elton John, actually. I figured it'd be more.
You know what? I'm not, man. I've seen Elton John transcend to people you would not expect to be into Elton John.
Well, no, I mean, I'm not surprised he didn't do more. I mean, whether you like the guy or not, he has some insane hits. There's just some music that he has that nobody realizes, hey, that's Elton John.
Right. No, or people who absolutely do. I mean, like full, like giant ass biker, tough dude type dudes who are like, man, fuck, I love Elton John.
Listening to Tiny Dancer.
Like Candle in the Wind, man. That's my jam.
So in a shock to no one, Microsoft to buy Activision, an all-cash deal for 68.7, which will hopefully end.
That's wild.
And there is some stuff in the ether I'm hearing that people are worried that Microsoft's going to make everything an exclusive, and let's be honest here. Microsoft is all about the bottom end, which is money. Having their games on every console is
you know, look, man, I'm PC and Xbox, so I don't. It's not going to affect me, you know.
The other thing,
buy American, fuck PlayStation. I'm just kidding. No, the PS5's great. It just, you know. I'm such a consumer of Xbox.
The other thing I would say is the fact that Microsoft's going to protect their in-house IP, which none of the people they purchased have been Xbox exclusives. Bethesda was never really an exclusive. Nothing from Activision is an exclusive.
Well, and they have mentioned, you know, back in the merger for why can't I think of it? Bethesda. That eventually they do plan on making those things exclusive, like, but you know, not right away. Like, hey, listen, we're going to give some lead time for this, but
I hope
that's
they
our
don't.
plan.
I hope they don't personally.
Mind, again, because I'm going to play it either on PC or on Xbox, so I don't give a shit.
Well, I'm hoping they don't, or at least they promise they don't, because otherwise this is never going to go through. And to be honest, with all the shit that happened in Activision, the company needs to go. However, one guy was
I mean, I was just thinking they need to buy Ubisoft and you know, fix what's going on for there.
Phil Spector, I think that's his name. One of the guys said he wants to bring back some Sierra games, and I don't know if anybody out here is old enough to know what Sierra Gaming is. That
Half-Life.
Like, no, that's Valve. Sierra Games
what am I thinking of?
Sierra Games did
Valve, but
did King's Quest. Sierra is old gaming. It hasn't been around for a long time.
Something more than that, didn't they? Hold on, god damn it! Now I gotta fucking look shit up.
Half-Life has always been Valve.
I don't know why I was thinking.
So Sierra Entertainment, they did Leisure Suit Larry, King's Quest, Space Quest,
shit.
which is an amazing game. Phantasmagoria. Yes, I want it, but I want a sequel to Phantasmagoria. That would be amazing. Police Quest. Old school games, like stuff that I grew up playing. But I think that would be amazing.
I think I remember King's Quest. I don't know if I ever played them. Leisure Suit Larry for sure.
So speaking of Xbox games, they are making another Fable.
Oh, Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's right. The original Counter-Strike and Half-Life. I wasn't losing my mind. And Diablo. Yeah, at least according to this.
No, I think that was a Blizzard. I swear that was Blizzard.
I mean, no. It was absolutely Valve, but I swear to God, Sierra was the other publisher.
So it was Blizzard and them?
I remember seeing their damn logo. Way later than King's Quest and stuff.
I did not. I actually did not, or at least I didn't remember that. That's interesting.
Yeah, usually games like that have a couple of producers.
Holy crap!
So they're gonna redo Fable. Did you hear about that, John?
I'm
excited.
excited.
Redoing it number 4, basically. I guess it's a redo. It's always different stories.
They're reinstating making Fable.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that. Not much is out about it, but that'll be good.
It's going to be out in 2023.
Yeah.
So.
I'm excited about that. I did hear the next, I'm a huge fan of Dragon Age, and I heard the next Dragon Age is the earliest is going to come out in 2023, which probably means 2024 or 2025.
Shit, I'm waiting for just the alpha release of Baldur's Gate.
Good luck with that.
So yeah, I know. That's going to be another console before they release that one.
Well, that's why I'm playing it on PC. I played a little bit of beta, but they update it so fucking slow that I don't feel like chipping away at it 1 hour at a time until they post a new update a month later.
Hey, shocking. That's about as much as I get to play a week. But I have a 5-year-old.
Okay, there you go. I've been balls deep in Arma 3 lately, man.
I'm still playing Cyberpunk.
Nice. You know what? I plan on revisiting that one sometime. When they have a couple of DLCs for it and stuff.
So I started a new character because I was kind of bored of doing the street punk. So I started the desert people. I don't remember the name for it in the game.
Nomads.
The Nomads. So I'm having fun with it. Have any of you guys seen the new Ghostbusters?
No, not yet. I'm looking forward to that one too. I haven't really been to the theater in a while, but plan on probably catching it just on an Amazon release.
Let me know. I wanted to talk about it when you guys get a chance to see it. Because I want to know what you think. Because I got a chance to see it, and I'm just jonesing to talk to somebody about it.
Who are fans of it. Man? I tell you, I've got high hopes, but I find that very few people have been able to walk this line between the right amount of nostalgia and capturing the same kind of tone and continuing a story.
So
that's a weird and difficult trifecta to make.
So let me put
it's another lightning in the bottle.
Well, let me put it this way: is succinct and the best I can without giving anything away. They did the best they can. I personally think they played it down a little bit towards kids, which I'm okay with. Overall, this is the sequel I've always wanted.
Sure. Okay.
It hit all the right notes for me, mostly. So
and it's fine. It has to be. They got to be confident enough in their story to have it be its own movie, and not just have it be fan service after fan service. Now everyone wants a little bit of that. You need to nod back to the OG and remember the roots and things, but you be your own thing. Don't.
Yeah, and
they did. The remake of Jumanji, I can cite as a really, really good example of a fun movie. It was totally different, but it knew its base and it knew where it came from and paid homage to it at the very least.
Yeah, I'll give you that. The Jumanji was well done.
I still want to see that.
And I'm a sucker for The Rock, man.
They did.
I was surprised how much I liked that movie.
They did an amazing job for what they had. I don't know. I was really impressed. And as somebody who hated the reboot with a passion of 1,000 burning suns, I was super skeptical.
Are you talking about the
Ghostbusters
that shall not be named?
Yeah. Because after that,
in a box set.
Yeah, like when I saw that one, I literally came into seeing the new Ghostbusters as I'm gonna hate it, even though I was jonesing to see it really badly.
Know, I refuse to watch that Ghostbusters that shall not be named at all. Everything I've heard about it's rightfully so.
Oh, you know what? There's going to talk about deaths. A couple other deaths. Just bring up since it's been crazy. Sidney Portier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That guy'd been old forever though. He's been old since I was a kid.
He's done some movies I've absolutely loved, and when I heard he passed, I was really bummed because he was such a great actor. And Dwayne Hickman, who played Dobie Gillis, died at 87. That was a good run. Sidney Portier died at 94.
Yeah. Like I said, he's been old forever.
Which is
I was like 65 when I was born.
This it's been a shit couple of years. It's like everything, like everybody I love is dying.
It's been crazy.
They're getting to that age where it's going to happen.
Oh, I know. It is just crazy. I'm just scrolling through my list of stuff here. Apparently, they're possible revival of King of the Hill is in conversation right now.
Yeah, I'm not caring about that.
Let's see, what else? What am I finding here? I did find an interesting headline, and I didn't really want to read more into it because it's related to COVID, but it says, Mom said her breast milk turned green after testing positive for COVID. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. Man, the amount of things that are going to get blamed on COVID for forever. Fuck, man, even at work, because I'm a dick apparently. I don't know, man. I'm
Wait,
it's
you're just learning this? I mean, you should have asked Ryan and I, James and I.
Like I have the type of job where like I've got to be decent to people,
Yeah.
But every single job, I don't care what you fucking do, you're always gonna have ways of skirting something or backburnering something for the sake of something else or things like that, and a common excuse or at the very least the joke we like to bandy around the office. It was always listen, ma'am, ever since 9/11, okay, and then insert excuse here, right? Now it's listen, ever since COVID, and insert excuse here for whatever you're trying to. Well, why is this taking so long? Well, ever since COVID.
There's some truth to that.
I mean, that's the thing, is there's actual truth to that. We used to throw around the 9/11 one just to see if anybody would ever catch it.
Well, the craziest stuff, you talk about the results of side effects of COVID, is fucking groceries are expensive as hell.
Yeah, they are.
They went up. The stuff I buy, I think they went up, and I just buy like basic vegetables and lean meats, and I think they went up like $50. Like total, my bill got ridiculous.
Let me ask you this, and this is I'm throwing a tinfoil hat on this one. But how much do you think that is? Hey, listen, logistically, this has been a fucking nightmare, and we've got to do something, and we're putting people in harm's way in X, Y, or Z situation. And so, the price, unfortunately, has to reflect this change of yada, yada, yada. Versus, let's make hay while the sun shine, never let a good tragedy go to waste. Because I imagine a lot of companies, especially people like sign makers, I don't know why this is my example, but the people who are making signs of like now hiring or online orders only, or whatever that is, drive-through open during COVID. Sign makers had to have been given speeches like fucking halftime locker rooms, like, this is our fucking time, we deserve this, everyone on three, and hit the floor running.
My honest opinion, all of the above. I heard some stories about how bad in the midst of the original lockdown, the supply chain got screwed up, and I heard some people high up in the world say it'll take, they said if it ended today, it would take 2 years to get everything straightened out.
Right. Yeah. I've heard that from a lot of different types of companies. But then let me.
But the other thing is, don't forget the good old American way is fucking people out of their own money. So
right, and capitalism, and I'm for it, man. Hey, fucking taxes. Like we got to find a way to still sort of spend money. The company I buy my ink from for my computer, like my printer ink, started selling PPE. 10 minutes after fucking COVID, like all of a sudden they sell gloves and hand sanitizer. Everybody and their fucking mom started selling hand sanitizer.
Oh, and some of these people got in big trouble for it, like alcohol. People who brewed alcohol, like breweries, were doing it, and they got in big trouble for it.
Have you noticed that most of the pop-up alcohol stuff has been ethanol? Mm-hmm. I hate ethanol-based hand sanitizer because it smells like fucking vodka.
That's what it is.
Like isopropyl is where it's at, because it smells, sterile. It's and look, whether it's sense memory, it smells like that hospital sort of sterile, kind of a thing, and it kills germs just the same way. And the other one smells like I just fucking dipped myself in vodka or took a couple of shots before I came out to meet a family. It smells awful.
Let's be honest. In the middle of COVID, I wanted to smell like I was having a good fucking time, because I was not having a good fucking time. So
if anybody had an excuse to smell like vodka, it's everybody during COVID.
Yeah, so I'm cool with that, even though, like,
why do you smell like vodka, ma'am? Ever since COVID, okay.
I've been taking shots of it to make sure my insides are sterile.
Bourbon got too expensive, so now I'm buying the cheap vodka from the Quick Stop down the street. It comes in gallon size
with some UV light, and I slam it.
My insides are sterile now. I'll never get COVID. However, walking in a straight line is going to be a little bit more difficult.
I'd say I don't know if I have like survivor's guilt or something with all of this. In the beginning, I was hey, I'll worry when there's something to worry about, and then all of a sudden, I've got a pretty decent local barometer just because of what I do. I'm the guy talking to doctors and figuring death certificates, and I see what's on everybody's thing, and I was very aware. Okay, this isn't being reported in some kind of weird, kind of way. It's no gunshot wounds due to COVID. That kind of conspiracy shit. Albeit locally, local is my barometer. But I'm in, Los Angeles County. I'm in a huge place, so. but I was very much the, hey, let's shut it down. We're not doing in-person appointments. Everyone's wearing a fucking mask. We're used to how protective equipment works in our line of work. So, we just did it all the time. And after a while, after all of that, and after everyone freaking out for a while and shit, never got COVID, never symptoms, anything like that.
Knock on wood.
Vaccines, right? Yeah. Well, that's my point. So, vaccines and all this stuff, and then I got vaccinated in fucking February almost a year ago. So, none of this shit is going to be active anymore, as it stands.
Far as vaccine goes, just to everybody out there, the country you got to take a look at, far as vaccines and the information, is Israel. That's all I'm going to say, just because they're the most heavily vaccinated people on the planet right now when it comes to COVID.
Shit, I don't know. I heard Australia's at like 98% or some crazy something like that.
Because they're doing it by the point of the gun. They're like China.
I mean, basically, yeah. And the different discussion about all of that and things. But I'm very much for, hey, you do you, Americans, right? That's what we are. So. But in any case, I was freaking out for a while, and then LA County dropped the mask mandate, and I was like, fuck it, let's go. No mask. I'm rolling it every 7-Eleven, every place I went, no mask. And then they brought the mask mandate back, I don't know, 10 minutes later. It was actually 2 weeks, but it felt like it was like the next day. And I was like, no, suck a dick. I'm not putting this fucking mask back on, and just dug my heels in. Like, I became a petulant child. Like, motherfuckers, say something to me about the mask.
Let's be honest. You were yourself.
But I've been playing it so fast and loose for so long now that I'm just like, how the fuck have I not gotten COVID? I was incredibly careful in the beginning and then stopped giving a shit. And apparently none of it makes a difference.
I still wear masks. I still stay 6 feet away from people. But part of it's not because I'm afraid of getting COVID. Part of it's because it's just nice.
Right. The optics. And because part of it is one, I'll meet people in the office. We all have masks on. I'm 3.5 feet from you. There's no point in us wearing a mask. And it's a cloth mask. And if you're not changing them every 15 minutes, it's fucking useless once it gets soaked.
Yeah.
Everyone gets up in their shit, fucking playing with their mask and scratching their nose and pulling it down, pulling it up, readjusting. What you should do is wash your hands, put on a fucking mask, wash your hands again before you take said mask off. And if you're using one of the blue hospital ones, 15 minutes is about what they're good for. And then you need to change it. So if we're not all following that protocol with masks, then it is only for optics.
And don't forget, you cannot reuse them ever.
No, cloth ones are good. And to a certain extent, if you're kind of keeping that 6 foot distance kind of thing, okay, great. No, they're gonna keep most of that within a very short distance of your own stupid fucking face holes. But if you're not following all of these things, 1 out of 3 is doing nothing.
The one thing, though, because I have a young son, that I think is the biggest tragedy of COVID is going to be, I have this gut feeling that there's going to be repercussions to how we shut the schools down and the children. And I know a lot of people say the kids will get over it, and they might. But I don't know, I just a lot of these kids who need this, their peers. I just have this gut feeling there's going to be some issues later down the road.
I think it's going to be a weird memory for sure. I mean, it's going to be one of those wait and see things, right? We'll find out in 10 years or whatever it is.
Well, I think my son's generation, who my son's 5, I think they're going to have issues. If you're a fucking middle schooler or a high schooler,
actually, I almost would assume it would be different. I don't know why. I mean, but that it would affect that preteen sort of age more than the 5-year-old. The 5-year-old might have a vague memory of oh yeah, I think I remember everyone wearing masks for a while and I couldn't see my friends or something. And
if it was during our generation, then I could see it because we didn't have the fucking internet. We didn't have any way to play games and
but we spent a lot of time at home still though.
Yeah.
So there wouldn't have been a difference. I wouldn't have known as much as my parents did about the plague going on.
Well, I mean, but if you weren't allowed, for example, if they shut down your school and you weren't allowed to go, you would have been stuck there at your house trying to, you couldn't go to the video store, you couldn't run a game. Versus now,
but at 5, I'm not really worried about that.
Not at 5, but I meant a teenager. If we were teenagers when this happened, or this happened back when we were teenagers, I think it would be a bigger deal. And I could be wrong.
No, you're right, because we definitely would have lined up on some computer games, on some Xbox. We would have done a lot of that. We would have still definitely had some interaction with each other, as opposed to whatever pen pal shit we would have done.
What was that, James?
There wasn't internet and there wasn't Xbox when we were kids.
Yeah, so that's why I think
pretty much.
That's why I think if we were kids, if it happened when we were kids, I think there would have been a bigger issue. Matter of fact, I think most of the people I know would have started burning shit to the ground in protest.
I knew crazy people.
James is one of them.
Mm-hmm. What are you talking about?
I don't know. I just can't wait for this is over. Just because I'm tired of all of it. I'm even tired of the optics of the now it's, instead of the left versus the right, it's the vax versus the unvax. And it's just we have a species that just really have fucked up ways of joining in community.
You know what? Seriously, man. Because man, bottom line, I don't care what side of this people really land on. I'm very much for individual choice, all said and done. I would have fucking hoped we would have had a little more of that, like, World War II kids collecting scrap metal for the war effort type of vibe going on, though. The hey, we're all in this together post 9/11, kind of thing. And fuck, was I
It seemed like that for a little bit, when all of a sudden it was like universal harmony and the world was grasping hands and singing Kumbaya. Yeah. Then it became fuck you. It's like instantly, with like 6 months.
It was because there was something to like blame the other guy on, there was a way to pick out the other at a distance, kind of thing. And you weren't looking at each other first thing first as an American. You were looking at each other first thing first as oh, you must be like a Democrat for not wearing that or for wearing that, or vice versa, or whatever. Or like you said, then it became the vax non-vax thing. Everyone had this like authority to become a Karen all of a sudden.
We're going to have to end. We're going to be ending this episode a little early because how we're doing this a special way. Unfortunately, I did something that I thought was interesting for those who enjoy their cannabis. This is from ACS Publications. Cannabinoids block cellular entry of SARS-CoV and the emergent variants. So
I don't know if I buy that.
So for all of you stoners out there, go French kiss somebody with COVID. Tell me if it works.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you know what I mean? Shit.
Hey, if it stops me from getting COVID, I'd smoke. Well, fuck, with my stress level.
Though? Like, man, look, I've been a stoner a long fucking time, and I've always been pretty damn honest with myself about why, and it hasn't been for medical reasons. Okay.
No, you had glaucoma at 6.
It's a bit of a cop out, Well,
see, now
it seems silly to me to all these things get attributed to it like it's a miracle drug. And I'm of the opinion on this, like, dude, don't make it out to be more than what it is, because when people find out it's not that, then they've got a reason to ban it and all these things. Let's just be honest about what it is and why everyone's doing it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to mention our sponsor, which is Audacity. That's ODDASSITY. Go to audacity.com, type in MadTrio, all caps, all one word, for 10% off your final order, and tell them the MadTrio sent you. When it comes to weed, the one thing I could see using it for, if I was to do it, would be for stress and anxiety. Besides that, it's not the cure-all. Our Jeff Michael, who was one of the co-hosts we had for a Real Fix Reviews, he believed into it. He believed it until he didn't, and then he started. I remember his comment about it. It's like, it's not a cure-all,
right? It's not, man, and it almost becomes this this reason. It's like admitting that doing it recreationally isn't a good enough reason.
Yeah,
and to me, it is. To me, it absolutely is a good enough reason on its own validity. That's it. It doesn't need to be these other things.
I don't understand the justification for it. I mean, because people don't justify what they're drinking. They don't say, "Hey, it's sun," So I don't get it. If you're into it, hey, I say go for it. I hope they make it legal personally.
And part of the reason is because too many reasonable people that smoke weed never mentioned it. They kept it to themselves because they would be ostracized from jobs, or people would look at them as stoners, et cetera, et cetera. There was a vibe that went along.
Let's be honest. In 1960, it was a felony.
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So the respectable people kept the shit to themselves. So the optics of what a stoner came from the people who didn't give a shit, which was stoners.
Yeah.
You know
100%.
what I mean? Hippies and all of these things. So that if that's all what people see, that's what a stoner is. They didn't realize how many, professionals or whatever. All of your teachers were high. Let's be honest.
I think to deal with high school students, you have to be somewhat stoned, because let's be honest,
they issue it in the teacher's lounge.
Right? They're eating gummies. It's the one thing, get a little bit into the politics a little bit in the 7 minutes we have left, is that's the one thing I wanted Joe Biden to do, is make weed fucking legal, make it a hardcore felony, like, never get out of jail for selling heroin. Because let's be honest, I've never met a stoner who did bad shit besides cooking. And maybe some weird fucking pottery.
We tend to be a docile bunch.
I've never seen a violent stoner, but it was probably because they were on something.
There's been a lot of violent stoners, but they're violent people who also happen to smoke a bunch of weed. I mean, shit. If someone's a violent person and they're a Christian, I'll show you a violent Christian.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So one doesn't really preclude the other.
So I guess the MadTrio's in support of legalizing weed and making really hardcore drugs that really fuck people's life up. Making, make that a harsher penalty.
Or make it legal.
I want the people who sell it more than the people who use it, because, I've known people who couldn't get out of it.
Regulate it, tax it, get people, actual treatment. Nobody has to really hide from it. And they're going to ruin their lives anyway.
Yeah, it'll be like Joe Rogan. Try DMT.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But if you got a weekend to kill.
Or Ron White talked about using ayahuasca to get off alcohol.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh man, everything I've heard about ayahuasca, I'm like, man, apparently I got to go to Peru.
And now I've heard one of the comedians I follow. So they were ketamine, Special K. They were their therapist gave them that to help them with some issues. It's like, well, fuck.
Neil Brennan.
I don't remember. I just remember thinking of like all the party people from like the 1990s are like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah. You're like, therapy? What the hell? We used to just melt into our couch. What the fuck are you talking about therapy?
So hopefully this episode doesn't sound too bad. We're doing it a different way. The old guy wasn't feeling too well, so I decided to try it from my house with my brand new Rode microphone, because I'm a kind of a mark for Rode products.
Well, I got all my good cussing in while he was gone.
Right?
God damn it.
So do us a favor, check us.
Bitch, cocksucker motherfuckers.
We still have 5 minutes, so do me a favor, check us out on all our social media feeds. We're on Facebook, Twitter. I have a TikTok account, but I'm not doing anything with it besides viewing it. Because like anybody wants to hear an hour of fucking podcast on TikTok. By the way, TikTok is definitely the proof that our attention spans have gone down.
Yeah, I miss Vines, because at least they were like kind of creative a lot of the times. TikTok is just cringy. I can't abide it.
So I have noticed being on TikTok, and I view it quite a bit. Once you find once you find videos you like I got a bunch of car shit. And it's cool, but it's like you have to get through a lot of bullshit, like a lot of women showing their doing, hey, I'm cute. It's like, come on, keep going.
Yeah, or I'm gonna lip sync this thing really weirdly.
Yeah, there is some cool shit on it, but after a while, it's just like, okay, this is getting old. Now people go from YouTube videos to 10-minute, 5-minute TikTok
honestly,
videos.
I don't think the short form is exclusive to a particular attention span. I think, people get in their modes. I mean, everyone listens to the Joe Rogan 3-hour talks, or, these big long form interviews and long form documentary series and things on Netflix get really popular. And then at the same time, hey, in between that shit, I'm going to watch some 30-second clip on some dumb shit.
I got to give people credit though. The 10 minutes, this guy who loves doing an hour podcast, getting succinct information in 10 minutes is a fucking skill.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Usually an editing skill.
True, you can usually tell on TikTok because they're jumping around.
Oh man, speaking of editing skills, look up history of the entire world, I guess. YouTube. It might be one of the most densely informative, like 18-minute videos that it's the history of the entire world, I guess.
I'll have to check it out. I'll watch it in between all my van life videos I watch.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, you're one of the van life people.
Well, part of it is because I love the idea of the challenge. I love the idea in the 2 minutes we have left. I love the idea of maximizing the space you have. And van life seems to be the ultimate form of that. Plus the fact
it really does kind of beat the Japanese tiny apartment thing by a few square feet.
And I love the idea of having one because instead of like buying an RV, I made one. That's kind of cool.
Oh, but I'll bet you the Japanese got some real fucking efficient van space.
Oh yeah, that's what they do. I mean, that's
yeah.
Have you seen their fucking houses on all those YouTube videos? I bet they have some groovy shit.
Best quote I ever heard about the Japanese: "They're like everybody else, only more so."
Yeah.
And I think they're also the population uses a lot of diapers now.
What? We're gonna have to dig into that next week.
Yeah. I'm like, wait, what?
It's an aging population.
All right.
So we have just under a minute. So ladies and gentlemen, for the California Pariah, the fat man, James Stevens, and the old guy who's a little bit under the weather, as always, thank you for listening.
Goodbye.